We're living in a strange time. I'm interested how COVID-19 has affected you personally and then the band. And I'm just going to turn the floor over to you at this point.
Well, yeah, we were supposed to hit Northwest Terror. It was really exciting. Um, we liked Seattle. It was kind of a bummer to not get to do it, but we kind of saw the writing on the walls. I think anybody paying attention probably saw it coming. As for me, I'm out of work, but I'm surviving. Everybody else is doing fine. Uh, Nothing's really changed. We were all kind of homebodies to begin with. Uh, so really, all we're getting to do is do what we always wanted to do, which was cancel plans.
I'm finding that uh, is actually more common than not amongst the
Yeah,
people that I'm spending time with doing these chats. It's kind of nice to have some people I've heard refer to it as the great pause and just kind of
yeah.
go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, I think we're a part of the generation that we've been preparing for this all our lives. So it's just this is a real call to arms. We've been ready for this shit.
Say a little bit more about that. That
I
wry
mean,
smile, that wry smile hides over a lot of deep thought there, I think. So, I mean, go where you want to go with that.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's more of a personal take rather than a big thing. Uh, I I don't think people like going and doing things as much as they used to. Either that, or this is making people realize how much they do like doing things, and maybe they'll be better friends to people and stop canceling plans. Uh, I don't know. I'm sure there's a bigger statement to be made about it, but I think that's for smarter minds than me because I can just dumb it down to weird folksy nonsense that I inherited from my parents and just say, oh well, I just like staying indoors. I got
Fair
pretty
enough.
hot, man.
Fair enough. What are you doing? I think one of the things we're all wrestling with right now is to put it in its simplest form is just how to stay sane right now, given that we're living through something that, at the very least, has been a century since there was
Yeah,
anything similar, but also just in terms of the way that certain organizations in our society are responding to it is also unprecedented as well.
yeah,
Um, so, talk to me about what you're doing. I'm listening obviously to a lot of music. I
yeah.
decided to start interviewing people like you. But what are you doing to try to kind of stay sane through all this bullshit?
I mean, probably nothing different than anybody else is doing. Writing a lot, listening to music, playing music, anything I can to keep sane. Uh, I have watched, I think, every movie ever made in the last month. I, I
Absolutely.
would, I would wager that there's not many movies I haven't seen. I think I'm closing in on every movie for sure. Uh, and I think that's probably about what everybody's doing. I think we all went into it thinking it was going to be this big productive time to be a human person, but it just being stuck with yourself and not much else. Uh, you can kind of become your own worst enemy when all you have is time. It's a weird thing to face that and actually look at the things you've been meaning to do in the face of your own personal progression. It can be daunting. Like I told myself I was going to work on my own record and work on my own writing, and I have to some extent, but not nearly the extent that I had planned on doing. And I admire people that can use this time to be wholly productive, but that's never been me. I look at my goals and I shiver. You know what
Hmm.
I mean?
Hmm. It's interesting because I think in what you were just talking about, when I listen, and I'm just going to use this as the bridge over to the solo work,
Yeah,
um, because I think from what I've heard, and just correct me if I'm wrong, I think there's 3 songs out right now,
yeah,
right? And the release is in general called Been Worse, and there's 3 songs that are out on Bandcamp, correct?
yeah,
Um, and so when I'm listening to these, I love them in and of themselves, but they also hint at something else for me going back to Funeral Chic. I'll get to that. What I dug about it is the songs themselves are really emotionally raw.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, just take Bourbon Street.
Yeah.
I'm somebody who's wrestled with alcoholism for years. So
Yeah.
I've often wondered, are my pants wet because of the rain or some other reason? Right. So that line actually hit me individually.
Yeah.
But it made me realize, first of all, just talk about those songs seem to be coming from a really personal space, but yet they're also kind of general enough where other people who have been through similar struggles can relate. But I'm just interested, talk about the solo songs, where they're coming from, and is there going to be more coming out? Because I find them fascinating.
Ideally, there's going to be more coming out. That's one of the things I planned on working on, and I will get to it eventually. But yeah, I mean, I kind of stand in my own way when it comes to that shit. Whether it's me not trusting people to come in and do it with me, or me just being too lazy to teach people stuff, or just being too lazy to write a song. Hopefully, I get more done and something more comes out. But when I'm writing things like that, it's always a bit worrisome when things are a little too personal for me. Not because I have trouble showing that part of me. I'm relatively open. I'm the most open private person in the world, I think. But I think the point of a song is to not be incredibly singular. If it's not relatable in some way, then it's kind of only serves me. And while I do use that as an outlet for myself, you don't want to alienate people. I think that kind of defeats the purpose of live music anyway. And I have this weird problem where I can't take anything too seriously. Everything that I write is kind of rooted with just a tad bit of ridiculousness. Like all of those songs, there's something kind of fucking stupid about all of them, and I think that's just being from the South. No one here takes themselves too seriously. If they do, that's they might as well have a fucking bullseye in their head because they're useless people. Like there's no sense in taking yourself too seriously. And also, that's not me in nature. I'm hyper self-aware, and I think those songs reflect that to a certain extent because they're a little bit ridiculous. With just, I squeeze in a bit of poignancy when I can, when it fits, and that's the best I can hope for. Is just a little nugget of decent.
Well, I think I'm going to encourage you to keep venturing down that road at whatever pace that you're, we all work at our own fucking pace in the end.
Yeah.
Even if anyways, because I think you're dealing with some pretty universal things in there. You're dealing with the issues of pain and desperation and anxiety, and there's some, there's some humor in there as well. I think that's a healthy thing, though, right? I grew up on fucking Monty Python and Benny Hill, so my whole world is filtered through like Steve Martin's Let's Get Small album was like my childhood pretty much. So I appreciate the importance of humor, but listening to the solo songs made me realize, because what you did, and this is my theory, and I could be completely fucking wrong. I get that. But what it showed me was that in some ways there was a vulnerability that was going on. And actually it was going on in the Funeral Chic stuff. And I just didn't catch it first time through because I'm just sitting there going, fuck yeah, and really getting into it. And when you take away that kick in the teeth, and it's stripped down, not only do I see that there's some vulnerability in the present music, but now I see it. Holy shit, it was there the whole time, and I was just so busy banging my head that I missed it. So I is that me misinterpreting or
no? That's Funeral Chic first and foremost is a rock and roll band, and we don't have any intention of changing that. But there's never really any point in taking yourself too seriously with it, or doing it from a place of complete nonsense. with anything I do, I think I kind of walk the tightrope of being a legitimate artist or being a fucking parody act. And I don't want to be either. I really don't. But everything has to be stemmed from something real to me. Uh, like yeah, there are elements of depression in both of them. There's struggles with certain things. There's political ideologies. I'm from the South. I can't use words, but yeah. I mean, everything. If I want it to be fun, it can be fun, but I have to do it from a place of somewhat sincerity.
Yeah, absolutely. That sincerity really shines through on the new stuff, and it made me relook at the Funeral Chic stuff. So in some ways, that was really cool. Going back to Funeral Chic, what are, like, I know we had the date up at TerraFest and that's gone, but like what are some future plans right now for Funeral Chic? Are you guys kind of in the midst of writing right now, or?
Yeah, that's pretty much the deal. We're trying to write. We were writing an awful lot. I think our practice space might have gotten locked up just because of everything. They just kind of closed the doors to encourage people to stay home. Uh, but before that, we'd gotten a decent chunk of writing done. Hopefully, we're going to pick back up and make up some of the canceled shows. But at this point, we have no idea when that'll be possible. I know Northwest Terror is being rescheduled. I don't know if we can say anything about it. I think the date has been announced.
Yeah, it has. It's all out there. So yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm breaking it. Yeah, we're already confirmed for next year, so we're or the rescheduled ones. I'm not sure if I was supposed to announce that or not.
Well, it's
but
an exclusive right here. We'll put
yeah,
a link in the description.
yeah. What are they gonna do? Cancel it?
All because of you, man. What the fuck? You thought COVID was bad.
Wait till we come to town. We'll get the whole fucking thing canceled. We'll sneeze on everybody.
So a couple quick ones here. Just kind of, we'll call it the lightning round. What's the influence on you musically, or even not musically, but it shows up in the music that you think folks would be most surprised by? Like, holy shit, I can't believe he listens to a lot of John Denver and has a John Denver tattoo on his ass.
Dude, I do listen to a lot of John Denver, and that's from my mom. I think my mom's favorite song is fucking the fucking John Denver song. And a lot of what we do is I cannot even tell you how many times we've ripped off country music and Tom Waits. There's a lot of film and literary influences. Not necessarily from me. Our guitar player Rob, he's a big reader. Me, I can't read for shit. But he went to college and whatever, so he's big on literary nonsense. Basically, a fucking nerd. Me, yeah, just people that are doing interesting things with their voice, because that's my main instrument in that band. I like to do goofy things. I don't know, just ridiculous things. I'll say that. And that stems from, I think, country western music.
Yeah.
That's not probably not people's main influence when it comes to playing in a heavy band, but one of ours.
Absolutely. One of the things that I love, getting ready for this, I always kind of just read a few articles that are out there, go back, listen to the discography again. And one of the things about you that I've noticed is the genre nerds struggle so fucking hard with you guys. And you guys play off of that to some extent, I've seen in interviews. And I just, a lot of the interviews, your sense of humor just shines right through. And to me, there is that parody element, and I just want to say I appreciate it a lot. Give me what's your favorite song to play live right now? Like the last time you were out on tour, what's that one song that you're like, oh, no matter how the set's going, you're like, I fucking love this song?
I think my favorite song to play live is always going to be "Say No." I keep doing this thing on Twitter uh, uh, or well, I don't know. Since the record came out, I was trying to do a little contest, which I thought was genius. I thought it'd be great if someone could pick the song that we ripped off and say no. Then I don't know, send them a record. Nobody ever did, and I was pretty disappointed, but also it was like kind of a little pat on the back. Everyone only guessed like, and this goes back to the genre nerds. Everyone guessed like black metal songs, and I didn't have the heart to tell them I don't fucking listen to black metal like at all, dude.
Right.
And and it was like a few Motorhead songs, which is cool. I like Motorhead, but that's not where we were coming from at all with that song. And yeah, I think now is a good time to just tell people what fucking song we ripped off. It was Going Out West by Tom Waits. That whole song is Going Out West.
That's great. That's
yeah.
fantastic.
So everybody on Twitter fucking lost.
All right. Well, there you go. Here's another exclusive right here on this interview. Last question I have is, what's the thing, and it could be an indulgence or it could be something big, but what's the thing that you're most looking forward to when this bullshit that we're all going through, when we get to the other side of this shared experience? What are you most looking forward to?
I would like to try. I'm looking forward to trying to be a human person again. Yeah, it goes back to just spending too much time with yourself, like getting back to a semblance of reality, to figure out if anything that you've done to try to be progress as yourself or be productive, to try out some of those things and see if any of it was worth doing. Because you spend that much time with yourself, you could pump out a world of garbage. I'm looking forward to sitting in a restaurant again, getting coffee. Dude, there's no greater feeling than buying coffee. I don't know why. That's like one of the last vices I have left is I will spend gross amounts of money on coffee.
Absolutely. That was good. Coffee was very instrumental for me at a point in my life, getting through some stuff. It was just, there's something about it that helps quite a bit.
Yeah, like it occupies your hand, you can spend money without going broke. Lots of advantages, fuck your nervous system up, just as much damage. You still drive a car.
And socially acceptable. Yeah, it's absolutely wonderful. And sometimes you get a punch card and you get your 10th one free, which I never found at a dealer.
Yeah, really. Like, I might have kept doing drugs if they would have given me a deal like that. Like, shit.
Well, let's be thankful that deal isn't out there. Any chance? I tried to get you maybe to think about doing a song. Is there any chance we could get a song? Or I know that's kind of difficult sometimes with the technology. Just figure out as.
I'm outdoors right now. My guitar's inside. If we ever get to do this again, I will play you every song I have.
Oh, goddamn, that would be great. I know that you have been doing some live, just broadcast. I caught a live broadcast. Look out for that. I guess you do that every now and then. So I'll tell people to do that. And really, the big thing is I want to encourage folks. I know that, they're going to hear that Funeral Chic and they're going to come to the interview. But I really want to encourage people to listen to the new stuff the new material that's out. Because I really, and I want to strongly, again, I know I've just like the third goddamn time I've done this, but I just want to encourage you to do it because it's really good. And I'm thankful that it's ballsy sometimes to put out stripped down solo stuff.
It's nerve-wracking.
You can almost argue it's more punk rock than fucking putting out punk rock right now.
I maintain that a lot of the most punk rock dudes in the world are country western people right now. Not the ones that everybody thinks I'm thinking of, but they're out there. I don't want to hear any flack about country music from nerds. Country music is still good.
Absolutely. All right, brother. I want to thank you very much for taking the time. I want to tell you to be safe. And I'll catch up with you on Instagram and when this goes up, I'll send you a link to it, okay?
Thanks, man. Y'all be safe.
Absolutely. Adios.